If you want to start running in 2025, this video is for you. Welcome to Kathleen's Declassified Running Survival Guide. I'm going to be sharing the real facts, the real tips, things that actually worked and have helped me personally that I wish I knew when I first started. I'm going to break this video up into 3 different parts. First of all, you're probably like, who are you to be giving me running tips? So I'm going to share a little bit about my running journey and what that has looked like. In the second part, I'm going to share some tips that I live by, things that actually work and will help make you a better runner and make running for you easy. And then part number 3, I'm going to share a little bit of my favorite gear, some things that I have purchased along the way that I think has really changed the game for me. This might be one of my top favorite YouTube videos, so I'm so excited to get into this. Let's get started. So first of all, who am I? My name is Kathleen. I am an average 23-year-old girl. I did track and field in high school, but I don't even remember running that much. I joined it to be with my friends. I run literally 10 times more than I ever did in high school when I was actually a part of it. Otherwise, I did not grow up doing any sports. I'm like totally surface level, non-athletic kind of girl. I got into running in June of 2024 because I decided that I wasn't happy with the way I was looking, and so I did like a little 30-day soft challenge for myself. This is what I told myself I was going to be doing for the next 30 days, and I actually documented it on TikTok. I know I haven't really talked a lot about my running journey here on YouTube, but I have shared so much of it on TikTok specifically and also Instagram. So if you guys have not been following me there, I recommend you do because I share so much more about that on a day-to-day basis. So go and follow me. The first time I ran, I actually collapsed on the ground because I was feeling such horrible side pains, and I was like, there's just no way people do this for fun. Flash forward to the end of November, I ran my first ever half marathon. It was actually a free-for-all. I signed up for it like 2 weeks before, but I had been running really good distances. And then now flash forward to today, I am running the New York City Runs Brooklyn Half Marathon on April 27th. I'm really excited because that will be my first like real half marathon, and then I am hoping to do a marathon at the end of 2025. I have not signed up for anything just yet, but I'm really looking forward to that. I run at about a 10 to 11 minute pace. I think I'm a pretty like average person. As I am only like 7-ish months into this journey, I still consider myself a beginner, so just know I am not a professional at this, but I just want to share things that I really wish that I knew when I first started. Now for the real part of this video, I want to go into some tips that I think have changed my life. I've also gone through TikTok and just kind of accumulated what I've seen other people say as well to make sure that I have a really well-rounded concept of what I think you should do if you want to start running. Tip number 1 is to focus on distance over your pace. You want to focus on how far you're running and not how fast you're running. Of course, this all depends on what your goals are, but if you are a beginner who has never ran before in your entire life, you want to just give yourself baby steps. My biggest suggestion is to try running half a mile without stopping. Once you accomplish that, then do a mile without stopping. Give yourself little checkpoints. That way you have smaller goals to set, and then eventually you'll be able to reach higher mileage. Trust me, your pace will improve naturally over time. You'll get faster without even noticing. When I first started, I was running at about like a 13-minute pace, I think. Now I am between 10 to 11. So it definitely takes time, and you will see yourself improve naturally. Tip number 2 is probably the most important one that you need to understand, is that if you think you're running slow, you need to run even slower. I can already see it. You're running, you're huffing and puffing, you're out of breath. How do I do this? I can't breathe. You're running too fast. Your heart rate is going at an uncontrollable rate that you're not able to run so far because you're getting so exhausted. The trick with running, and something that's really important to always remember, is that running slower makes you run farther, and running faster makes you run better. I am not running 10 miles out of breath, huffing and puffing. I am running 10 miles super slow, up to the point where it feels easy for me. Even if there's people walking past you at a faster speed, do what feels right for you. When it comes time to like train for races or whatever it may be, it's really important for runners to do hill training, speed intervals, strength training. All of those things help you run faster, help your muscles become stronger to be able to perform better while running. You want to trick your mind into making a mile feel like an easy run, and that's how eventually you'll get into 2 miles, 3 miles, and then you will be able to run even faster without even noticing it. Tip number 3 goes hand in hand, and that is to focus on breath control. You're not able to run far because you're running too fast. Your heart rate is going so quickly that you need to learn to lower that. And so my suggestion is to focus on your breathing. Focusing on your breathing can also be a really great way to distract your mind from running. You can either exhale once and inhale twice, or you can inhale once and exhale twice. In a way, it's also like a little beat that will help you kind of stay on rhythm while you're running. Once you get the hang of running slower, catching your breath, maintaining your heart rate, running longer distances is going to be a breeze for you. Tip number 4 is to invest in good sneakers, but do not over invest. I went on TikTok personally and was like, best running shoes. That's not what I want you to do at all. Every single person has different needs, and your needs are going to change. If you start running today, in 4 months, what you need from your running sneakers is going to be completely different. What I highly recommend is going to your local running shoe store and get your feet measured. I went to the store called Fleet Feet. It also really depends on where you're running. Are you running on the road? Are you running on a trail? Is it dirt? Is it grass? Is it concrete? The last thing I want you guys to do is to spend so much money. And don't get me wrong, running shoes are expensive. Running in general is a very expensive hobby, but I don't want you to spend money on this like super mega shoe that you see everybody talking about that's like maybe a little bit more expensive than the average running shoe, because your needs will change. If you do not invest in good running shoes, you're going to pay the consequences and get blisters. I ran in these like Nike flat sneakers that gave me constant blisters, and I had to like stop running for like a good 2 weeks until they healed fully, which set me back so much. If you see yourself starting to get blisters, there are solutions to fix that. I recommend getting wool socks. Those are my favorite things ever. They prevent my blisters, and you can get them on Amazon for not that expensive. Or a good trick is to always add baby powder into your socks that kind of help alleviate the potential of like a blister coming through. And tip number 5, I feel like everybody says this and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you have to be consistent. Like I mentioned before, having blisters and not being able to run and taking some time off really set me back. You're gonna be making progress a lot faster than you think, and so having inconsistency is not going to allow for you to become a better runner. Now, you don't have to be full commitment like I need to run every single day. If your schedule allows, I get it. You have a 9-to-5 job, you have to wake up early in the morning, commute, you don't get home until late at night, and it's dark because of daylight savings. I totally get that. Start off easy, do it on the weekends. Start off just like twice a week. Do whatever works best for your schedule. Even if that is low commitment, start there. If you're just constantly like, oh, I don't feel like running, this sucks, my suggestion is to try incentivizing your runs. Now, what I mean by this is find a friend and be like, hey, let's sign up for this race and let's push each other to do this. You have someone to hold you accountable, and that's kind of the best way sometimes to get started. Otherwise, you can say, you know what, I'm gonna run however long it takes me to get to the coffee shop because I really want to try a new latte. You give yourself a break halfway between the run, you run the rest of the way back home. I feel like that's such a fun way to be looking forward to running. That's also kind of how you build a habit, and if you want running to become a new habit in your life, this is the way to do so. You want to start with the cue, whether that's like waking up early in the morning, you have the action, which is running, and then you have the reward at the end that makes you feel good and accomplished, and that's the thing that you're looking forward to every single time. And then over time, this habit will become a part of your weekly routine. Another running incentive that I use, and you don't need to, is posting content online. By sharing my running journey online, it makes me feel that much more motivated to record myself, think about fun video ideas that I want to film while I'm running, and it just like makes me 10 times more excited. Something else I also touched on very briefly is to potentially sign up for something. If you're the kind of person who needs a due date, a deadline in order to like feel like you have to work towards something, highly suggest you find a turkey trot, a 5K, something super small. It doesn't need to be a major race, a half marathon, but sometimes having a race to look forward to can help motivate you more. Sometimes I even look forward to listening to music. For me personally, when new songs or new albums come out, I love to listen to them on full blast while I'm in the car, and I've found a new love for doing that while I run. And so I get so excited to like really dive into like a new album while I'm running, maybe even a new podcast or like a YouTube video. If there's a certain song that you're really loving while you're running because it helps like match your pace, find out how many beats per minute is in that song, and then go on Spotify, and they have playlists for different beats per minute that you can have a whole playlist based on how fast you like to run that will help you kind of like really stay energized and motivated during your run. I've personally never used it because I have Apple Music and I don't know if it's on Apple Music or not, but if you do know, please let me know down below. And last but not least, tip number 6 is that it's going to be hard. I feel like a lot of people are always like, oh, running is so easy, like, you know, just do this, just do that. Like, it's none of that sort. Like, it's a difficult thing. More than just physically, mentally, it's a tough battle that you have to have with yourself to get up and choose to do this. Sometimes you have to stop and you feel so discouraged, but the effort and energy you take to continue, that's what makes you a better runner and a better person. I've seen myself change in so many ways in just these last 6 months because of running, more than physically, but I am my most confident and I am my happiest. Like, just being able to see my progression and see how I'm able to put myself out there and see how hard I'm working towards something, whether that's, you know, running a faster half marathon or eventually signing up for a marathon, like, it makes me feel really good. And like, also like in the mornings, like I get up and I'm running in the snow and I'm like, I am better than everybody else. But whatever it may take, like, it's going to be a difficult journey. You're gonna have bad days. There are days where I run an easy 10 miles, I'm smooth sailing and everything's great, and then 2 days later I'm running 4 miles, dying, I feel horrible, it's my slowest pace, my worst time, everything's off. But that's just a part of the process, because it's not about what those little things look like. It's about the overarching journey and how you decide to take those bad days and move forward and make it into something good. Trust me, you're going to be needing breaks, and in every single way. While you're running, take breaks. If you feel like you cannot keep going, take a break. Give Give yourself some time to walk it off a little bit, but make sure you don't stop there. Make sure you keep going and finish off whatever distance you were planning on running that day. But also just in general, I've had moments where I've just like either almost had injuries where it's really important to rest your body there so nothing else happens, but also just like mentally I'm just feeling blocked and like not motivated to run, that by taking a week and a half off, I came back so much stronger and feeling so much better about it. It's something that I really had to take some time to learn and realize that sometimes taking a break isn't a setback. Instead, you end up coming back even stronger. Make it exciting. Buy yourself cute outfits. Maybe go to new locations. I actually highly suggest you try running in several different locations because it can get very repetitive to run in the same spot all the time. And so going to new places, running with new people, trying new things is always so fun and exciting. Moral of the story is it's going to be difficult. It's a hard thing to do, but it's always so worth it in the end when you're seeing how much work and how much time and energy you're putting into yourself. And I promise you that if you do take running seriously, you're going to see huge changes in who you are because you deserve this commitment. You deserve to put your all into yourself and become the best version of yourself no matter what it takes. Now for the last and final portion of this video, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the gear that I personally love. I am an affordable queen. I am not looking to spend tons of money because as it is, this hobby is so expensive. So I make do with what I can and I get things that are affordable that work really great for me and I wanted to share. Again, this is just what works for me. Whatever works for me might not work for you, but I still wanted to share. So probably one of the second purchases you want to make once you decide to start running after your sneakers is to get yourself either a running belt like this one or a running vest. I suggest starting here. I feel like over time when you run more mileage, that's when you'll need more things on your body and this might not fit. But I see a lot of people run marathons with just this belt. I personally don't know how they do it, but I did start off with this at the beginning. Everything I'm going to show you guys, by the way, I'm going to link down below. This belt here is from Amazon. So is this vest. I love this vest because it comes with a hydration bladder, which is that like big thing that goes in the back that has like a straw that you can like sip out of. I personally just don't use that. It also came with these little water bottles, which I love to take with me. They're foldable and collapsible, so I fill them up with water for my runs. The more I drink it, the less weight I have on my body. So in here, I have multiple little pockets, which is why I love this vest. Actually, I've spent a lot of time on Amazon ordering different kinds of vests till I found this one. In this pocket here, which I think is the most important thing that you should really take out of today's video, I'm not gonna lie to you, especially if you are a young lady. I have pepper spray. Running outdoors is an amazing feeling, but unfortunately we are not always safe. There have been some really tragic stories that I have heard of young girls, and just the idea of like not being guaranteed safety just like really makes me so upset. So I always carry pepper spray with me in here because you can never be too safe. Just always be safe and careful. Always send your location to somebody that you know. Tell somebody that you're going for a run, where you're going for a run, around how long you'll take for that run. Like it's always important to just kind of like take those precautions because you just honestly never know. In this pocket here, it comes with actually a little whistle, which is really nice because you can blow it if you want to like get somebody's attention. But in here, I like to carry with me, I have some chapstick. This is Aquaphor, and then I have the Vapor Rub inhaler because sometimes I'd be feeling really stuffy while I'm running, and so this is actually a lifesaver. I highly recommend that. Now I know a lot of people also like to run with goos, energy chews, electrolyte chews, all of these like little things and gadgets. I personally don't use any of them yet. It's something that I'm still kind of like testing the waters. I don't like to rely on other things for energy. I just like to kind of like do it naturally, but I think I'll eventually probably like get there. I'm still learning. So if you guys have any suggestions actually for me about like goos or like any of that stuff, please leave them down below because I don't know anything about that. And I feel like just to share, I do personally run with my AirPods. They do not fall out of my ear. I know a lot of people have problems with that. I am, however, very curious to try these Shocks. I think it's called like open air fit headphones. So I think I'm going to be trying those out really soon because I like that you can still hear your surroundings while wearing them. Now this right here is probably the most expensive thing that I'm going to recommend to you. I wouldn't say I'm the most knowledgeable in this area, but I do want to share how I feel about it. So this is my Garmin watch. This is the Garmin Vivo Active 5 watch. I got it on sale from Target. I believe I spent about $200 on it. This is probably the most basic running Garmin watch that you can get. There are more that are much bougier and more expensive, but I am someone who has never had an Apple Watch before, so this is actually my first smartwatch ever. There's a lot of debate on like which one is better, and so that's where I said like I'm definitely not the best equipped to tell you that information, but I will say that what I see as like the consensus of a lot of people is just that Apple Watch is better for more lifestyle, and then Garmin is good for just running, and that's what I use this for. I use this to just run. It can measure your sleep score, you can wear it to sleep, it counts your like steps throughout the day. I don't like to wear it any time other than when I'm running. I just don't like the feeling of like having a watch on my wrist, whatever, sensory issues I guess. But the battery life on this thing is amazing. It lasts me like literally a month long. But granted, like I said, I don't wear it every single day. I'm sure if you wear it every single day, it'd probably last you like maybe like 2.5 weeks. But I know that the Apple Watch does die rather fast, so that is a big selling point of the Garmin watch. And this just makes everything so much easier, checking my pace, my mileage, my heart rate. So this is probably the only expensive thing I will recommend for you. Now for some of my favorite gear, I actually am wearing one of them right now. This is a like BBL jacket. I got this one from TikTok shop, but I have literally the same exact thing linked below from Amazon. I have it in like a gazillion colors because I don't know, it makes me feel really cute, and like this one's pink and I love it. But it's just like a zip up one. I like it because they have zippers here, so when I want to take off my gloves, I can just put them in this pocket. I'm from New York, and as I am training for a race in the spring, I have to be running in the winter time. And personally, I hate the treadmill, so I prefer much more to run in the cold than run on a treadmill. So I definitely have to layer up. So I do want to give you guys a few of my favorite winter running gear. I'm not Lizzie, Lexi, and Isabel, if you guys know them from TikTok. They run in Utah or wherever it is in literally shorts. I'm not built like that, so I'm going to share with you guys some of my favorite layering pieces. I highly encourage you guys to look into fleece lined leggings. This is by the brand CRZ Yoga, also again linked below from Amazon. Now for like my true winter accessories, these are some gloves that I've got from Amazon. They're touchscreen, they're simple, easy to use. My hands get really sweaty, so I don't like something that's like too thick. I do hear people rave about the Lululemon gloves. I will link those below as well too. I'm trying to get my hands on them, but they're currently sold out. Of course, you need your fleece headband. This is like what saves me. My ears are like the coldest part of my body while I'm running. My first ever one is this one by the brand Colombia. I got this from Amazon. It's really great. It's just a little tight on me, and it's just like all one size. So I have since upgraded to this Nike fleece headband. I got this one from Dick's. It's like really dirty. I don't know if you guys could even tell, but I like it because the band is slightly thinner when it goes over your forehead, and then it's slightly thicker to cover more of your ear, and it's a little bit looser on me, so I don't have to worry about like my AirPods like pressing into my skull while I'm running. And then last but not least, something that I've recently purchased, like more so in like the last month and a half, that I cannot imagine not using in the cold, is getting a fleece lined neck gaiter. So this is just like a piece of fabric that you just pretty much put over your head, and it just sits around your neck, and that way I can lift it up to cover my mouth and cover a little bit more of my ears. I can lower it. It's nice to have that option to like use more of it or not, depending on how much wind there is coming in. But anyways, that is all I have today on Kathleen's Declassified Running Survival Guide. If you guys have any other questions about anything running related, leave them below. Also, like I said, go and follow me on TikTok and on Instagram at withlovek with 2 underscores, because I post so many other running tips there. I share all of my splits, all of my runs, my future races, my plans, and everything just like so much more frequently. So I highly recommend you go and check it out over there. If you guys love the running content, let me know, because it has become such a big part of my life. But please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and click that subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye.